Welcome to episode 12.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it so much. We're back. A full dozen episodes. I just whistled like an old man with my F. Did you hear that?
I did.
Oh my God. I thought it was supposed to happen on the S's. Oh God.
That was an old man whistle.
Wow.
That was amazing.
I think I've officially crossed over to the other side.
Welcome to Hotfix, the weekly podcast that dives into the fascinating world of streaming, gaming, and esports. With your hosts, Brant Vladichuk and Jeremy Kelly.
So, friends, the PlayStation event happened on Thursday.
Which it was yesterday.
Yeah, the 11th. That was cool, man. They, you know, when you compare it to that, like, half Xbox event, where, like, dude looked like he was, like, in an ISIS prisoner video. You know what I mean? Like, its production was so bad.
Yeah.
This was, this is... The production on this PlayStation event is what's going to kill E3. Like, if every company can do events that are like an hour and a half, whatever it may be, no wasting your time with like having a band to do the intro and then like Miyamoto playing the Donkey Konga drums on stage. It's like, you know what I mean? If we can cut all that stuff out that's just like super cringe and like there's no time for it and it just wastes everyone's time, and E3 is like 8 hours long, it's all day. You can just do these hour-long things, and it's just like a little bit of hardware, game, developer talking for 30 seconds about either the game or the hardware, whatever it may be. Game, done. See you later. Let's move on. I don't know if it actually went over 1 million, but on Twitch alone, did it go over 1 million? Yeah?
Yeah, when they actually, I remember there's a couple games, I think our Resident Evil 8, it peaked, and then when they, like, the actual console reveal, it was at, like, 1.1 or something. So, like, you don't need those big format things like E3 anymore.
Like, now that they've shown that they can do it that well, I was like, whether you're a PlayStation fan or not, I suppose, just on the production value of that thing, it was friggin' fantastic. I enjoyed it so much.
And the best part of this one is they actually showed gameplay.
Right?
What is gameplay?
Right? Was it Xbox? It was Xbox that did that, right?
Yeah, the last Xbox event was
that
just
event.
a colossal train wreck of everything. But at least they didn't cock tease GTA 6.
Can you believe that they did that? I can't, I'm sure most people who are watching this did watch the event, but they like led off the event with the Rockstar symbol.
With the Rockstar logo and the music, and everybody across the world, including myself, was like, finally. And then it's like, oh, wait, no. So remember how we had GTA 5 on the PS3, and then remastered it for the PS4? And for the PS5, we remastered again.
We're remastering it for the PS5. It was like, remember in episode 2 of Star Wars when Anakin kills all the kid Jedis and Yoda is like, I felt a great disturbance in the Force, like millions of voices were silenced all at once. It was like that when everyone realized it was GTA 5 again. Like, come on, dude.
GTA 5 has now outlived the entire GTA franchise.
I hate that. Like, listen, like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm like partially the kind of person to blame because I've bought GTA 5 3 times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I bought it on PS3 or Xbox 360, PS4, and then on PC. And like, it is a really, really good game. And like, I think the kudos are still deserved. Like, even like, it still holds up. It's still super, super fun. The game's fantastic.
And the online service is good.
Yeah. They've done a great thing. I mean, the RP kind of really, really reinvigorated the GTA Online thing. And I know they do a lot of stuff with it, and they keep it fresh, and there's constant content. But before we started, you had made a good point that this is microtransactions done to perfection to the point where it harms the consumer.
Yeah, because they're still making mad bank every day.
So much money. Like, it's
like there's
still...
there's no point for them to like do a GTA 6 at this point if they're making, I don't know how much they're making, $1 million a day. I don't know.
Well, it's
something dumb.
It's been in the top 10 of sales every single month since the game came out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So like, and that's why you say 8 years or something.
Yeah,
like,
1 through 4 had a lifespan of 7 years.
Yeah.
GTA 5 is now approaching 8 years. It was released in 2013.
It's crazy. Like, it's still like the month sales that come out for something like PlayStation and stuff. GTA 5 is always in the top 10. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense, and it's just it's crazy. And like, you said something as well where it's like, if people are getting to the point where it's like, man, like, let's like, don't remaster GTA 5. Like, come on, Rockstar. Like, we need. I mean, like, I know Red Dead came out a couple years ago. It's like, fair enough. Like, obviously the team then switched to probably making GTA 6, but like, the people who are supporting the microtransaction thing that's keeping, you know, Rockstar's coffers full. The only way that for them to really, really focus on not remastering GTA 5 is for people to stop buying the microtransactions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's the same reason that something like League of Legends, as an example, can be just the same game with updates and that kind of stuff, but no League of Legends 2 for like 11 years.
I mean, I can support like that. Same with like Rainbow Six Siege. I can support games like that aren't at the core like narrative driven. They're not story driven.
Very, very fair. Very, very fair.
I'd much prefer something like League of Legends, CS to like just improve upon and balance and
improve
make
the
things
formula.
better. But like at the GTA can only. There's none of that. It's just constant.
It's inherently a narrative game.
Expansion, different online. It's the online like service model thing that can only go for so long.
That's right, and it's a bit of a tragedy too that they've never released a proper single player expansion as well. Like, they never did a Ballad for Gay Tony type thing. You know what I mean? That they had for GTA 4. Like, there was never like, you know what I mean? Like they always used to do single. Well, I shouldn't say they always used to do, but they in the past they have done single player expansion packs, which would be like great. Like, that would like give more value to GTA 5 still being so popular to someone like me, right? Because like, I don't really care about GTA 5 online, and a lot of people don't. I mean, a lot of people do as well, but it's time for GTA 5 to like it's run its race. I feel, and I feel like the consumers. It's like it's like the Elder Scrolls and Skyrim kind of, or Elder Scrolls 6 as well, right? It's like everyone's just like, just show us something.
Yeah.
Like, literally just show
more than a flyover from a mountain.
Man. But you know what? All they would have had to do for a GTA 6 is literally just the logo and even a flyover of a mountain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some kind of indication as to the era it's going to be in, the type of city or whatever it's going to be in, just something for people to start like.
But to be fair, that's also probably going to be reserved for a Rockstar event.
Probably.
Not
that's
a console release event.
Very, very fair. That's very fair.
So it is good that they, at the end of the day, it's good. Yeah, they're remastering it again. But it would, like, that was such a dick move to lead with that.
It was so weird to lead with that.
Like, don't, like, just that. I mean, I guess that's what, like, our only tripe right now is they led with, by, like, sticking the tip in. And then leaving forever and like nothing else.
It's exactly what it is. But yeah, so we're not going to go over every single game that was out that got that we've seen trailers for at the event. But do you want to talk about maybe some of the highlights for you? Like, we'll talk game wise, and we'll talk briefly about the console.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, I think I'm gonna have a weird highlight.
Yeah.
But there's a special part in my heart for Oddworld.
Okay, really? Okay,
yeah.
Sick. Yes. Okay.
Because Muncher's Odyssey, when I first bought my very first Xbox, I bought it used from EB.
Yeah.
And it came with that. So, like, my very first Xbox I ever bought, I had Oddworld with it, Muncher's Odyssey.
Right.
And so that's what all I played. Like, I had played, like, Halo, like the original Halo on my friend's Xbox and stuff, but, like, the first Xbox that I ever bought was Oddworld, Muncher's Odyssey.
Right.
And I played the shit out of that game. So it's kind of cool. And I never realized until I saw like the trailer for this new one, I forget the name, that there's a lot of Oddworld games.
Right, yeah, there is. There really, yeah. I mean, that's been around for, I think, PlayStation 1 was when the first Oddworld came out.
Yeah.
So, and there's been like constant or relatively consistent Oddworlds, like, you know what I mean, as you go through.
So like,
but that's awesome.
Yeah, seeing that like put me down a bit of a rabbit hole to actually like get back all that nostalgia and look at it. So like, I might do some sort of like binge all the Oddworld games.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Right?
That'd be really interesting to do. Yeah. That's cool. I know I've seen a lot of reaction on Twitter, more than I expected for Oddworld.
Mm-hmm. And it looks fun. Like it's just they're just fun, ridiculous games.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that's one of those games I feel like has like one of those like sleeper fan bases that like they're not loud. You know what I mean? They're not like banging down the doors for a new Oddworld, but like a lot of people are really excited about that. That's sick. Hell yeah.
And like the world, like seeing. Like looking at like the world design and the environment and like this one, and then going back and like looking at like Muncher's Odyssey,
right?
And looking at it like, oh my god, I love that environment. It's the whole like Mad Max, like post-apocalyptic, dystopia type.
Yeah, you know,
love it.
It's going to be cool to see. I'm so excited after seeing all these trailers. I'm so excited for things like particle effects in this next generation. Like I know, I'm like pretty much ready to admit that I was fully wrong about my thoughts on next gen from a few episodes back, where I was like, you know, I don't think it's gonna be a graphics thing. I think it's just gonna be a feel, an immersion thing. I think I was just dumb wrong. From what we've seen, like most of these things that we've seen at this event were supposedly in-game footage, and like, I mean, that Horizon Forbidden West trailer, if that was all in-game footage, that one trailer alone had to have sold millions of PlayStation 5s.
Yeah, that looked unreal.
Like, holy crap. When she's like underwater and just like those in that environment. Like, you never played the first Horizon, right? God damn, it's so good, dude. It's so fantastic. It's some of the most fun combat I've had in like a third-person action game, like ever.
Okay.
It's just, man, it's so good. The story is great. The world is great. Like the nature reclaiming the old world, and now the wild animals that are roaming the fields are robots. It's like, it's this weird mixture of like humanity's died out and it been reclaimed by nature, but also the tech humanity created has like also reclaimed the old world, and they're living in harmony, and then there's like just little tribes of humans. It's so cool. It's such a cool world.
Cool. I might have to check that out.
Yeah.
I need to dive more into single player games.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I am missing out because I love movies. I love diving into movies and like, but for some reason, the moment that I dive into like a awesome single player game, I just like lose it. But there's so many good ones coming out that I just need to like do.
It would be so worth it, man. Like, I know I mentioned before we started as well, but just on like PS4 alone, like if you played Horizon and you did Spider-Man and you did God of War and you did the Uncharted series and The Last of Us, I guess that's like 5 series. Man, it's like, that's one thing that PlayStation does really, really well, is that third-person action adventure game. Like, I think they're all third-person. Yeah, they're all third-person action adventures.
Yeah, Sony's got that in the bag.
Yeah. It's like, but they're all such great storytelling, such great environments and worlds, and gameplay is so fun. And PlayStation, I know we talked about it before, PlayStation this generation just did like a hell of a job with their exclusives and just like nailing down these single player experiences. Yeah. It would be worth it. It'd be worth it. So Oddworld was like a big hype spot for you. Was there another one that like kind of jumped out?
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Even though I've admittedly never played a Ratchet and Clank game, dude, it's one that I've always wanted to like dive my teeth into.
Dive your teeth into it. I love this becoming a thing.
And because I love 3D platformers.
Right. Well, did you do like Crash Bandicoot back in the day?
And
like Sly Cooper or like Jack and Dexter? Like, did you do any of like those games?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of game is just super, super fun, right? They're like those wholesome console mascots that you can just like really love and enjoy, but they're not just fun for kids either, even though they're like cartoony and these kind of things. Like same like Spyro and those kind of things too, right? They're just those games are just incredibly fun. I mean, like obviously you're like speed running Mario 64, which is like same type of idea, really.
Yeah, just a 3D platformer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's dope. Hell yeah. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank was good. The one thing I found weird about the Ratchet and Clank thing, like so it's called Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart, and it looks like you can rift between worlds and environments and these kind of things. But in the gameplay, when he was like, you can like, there's like a rift on like the arena that you're like the area that you're in, and you can like pull that rift to you to like,
yeah.
But it's basically just a dodge.
Yeah.
Like it's just like or a dash, but it's just like a long-winded dash that just looks cool. So that like kind of seemed weird to like have like the rift thing is cool. And the idea of being able to go through rifts that are like broken in space and time in the world to take you somewhere else is really sick. But that one animation, if anyone watches the trailer, just seemed odd as just like a long-winded dash.
Yeah, I know exactly what I threw me off a little bit as well.
A little strange. Yeah, they look super, super good. Do we want to talk how hilarious it was that there was 2 Groundhog Day games?
There's 2 Groundhog. I actually physically moaned or groaned. Not moaned. Wrong word. Yeah. Groaned at the first Returnal. Like, oh, another Groundhog game. Another that trope. Okay, sick.
It's being beaten to death right now, isn't it? Yeah.
And then there is a second one. The 2 Groundhog Day games.
And it's so weird that, and it's like Bethesda is the one that's doing Deathloop as well, which is like that's the next Bethesda thing. Damn it, dude! Now it looked good. Like it does look good. Deathloop does look good, but like, my God, that Groundhog Day thing is just like it's too much.
It's too much.
I wouldn't have fun. I just don't think I would have fun playing that kind of game. Like going through and then you die and it's not a checkpoint. You start back at the beginning.
Yeah, but the world changes and you get a little better every time.
I mean, like, great. But like that, I mean, it's a roguelike game, I suppose, just done in like a 3D storytelling world, 3D action RPG, as opposed to like a Hyperlight Drifter, or not Hyperlight Drifter, like a I can't remember what the game is called. Damn it. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
the 2D 16-bit graphic side scrollers that are also the like every other roguelike game, right?
Yeah, and the sad part about like Returnal is like it looks really cool.
Yeah.
The boss that they showed or like the enemies, they looked cool. And they had great art style and like direction, and then someone was like, "Hey, has anybody here seen Groundhog Day?" Because I don't think anybody has ever done that other than Groundhog Day.
That's right. Yeah, they live in a complete silo. Also, Dead Cell was the game I was thinking about.
Dead Cell. Okay,
yes.
yeah.
But yeah, that's such a weird thing. It's I don't know how. Like, I feel like the people putting this together, like, did they just miss that? Because it's so weird to have 2 very, very similar ideas for a game in the same 1 hour presentation.
I mean, like we've only seen the reveal trailer. It might be completely, from what we've seen, it might end up being completely different. Just as a disclaimer, but from what we've seen as of June 12th,
yeah, they look very, very much the same.
It just looks, yeah. We don't need another one.
No, for sure.
But you never know. It might show more trailers and it's actually completely different. We'll find out later. But right now, I was laughing.
It was very, very.
And then when the second one was revealed, I was done. I was done.
All right, dudes, I gotta go. I got better stuff to do.
A second one. My God.
I know, like for me, like I'm a huge Dark Souls fan, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, all that kind of stuff. When the Demon Souls remaster came up, I was like when the trailer started, I was like, this looks familiar. So initially I thought it was an Elder Scrolls thing. That's what I thought initially, because it had like the grassy field into the mountain, then it turned to snow, and I was like, but because it looked like in my brain, I was like, I've seen this before. It looks, I know this world kind of thing. And then you started seeing like enemies and stuff like this, and I was like, wait, hang on, I know this. And then there was one part where it shows one of the bosses, which is like a gigantic knight with a huge like tower shield, and he's like 12 stories big kind of thing.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like a Shadows of the Colossus thing with the size of that boss. I was like,
yeah,
I want a modern remake.
It'd be great.
Shadow of the
Yeah, they
Colossus.
did do a remake of
Or
it.
like a brand new
yes.
next gen Shadow of the Colossus.
That would be great. Yes, absolutely.
Would be unreal.
Yeah.
And like the ambiance of that fucking game is
of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Anyways.
But yeah, when I
sidetracked.
seen that knight with the tower shield, I was like, it's fucking Demon Souls, dude. And then the rest of the trailer, I was like, I remember being there, and everything looks sick. Like it looks like, again, I really, really hope that was all actual in-game footage, not just like in-game footage. You know what I mean?
In engine.
Yeah, exactly. Like
It's in engine, but it took 7 days to render.
Yes. Exactly that. So I hope that's not the case, because damn, it looks so good. And like as far as like a nostalgia ride, and then something being what that would be like to me if it comes out as good as it looks is going to be what the Resident Evil 2 remake was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where it's just like it's the full nostalgia, but it's like a brand new game, and it just looks so great and it plays so well. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I love those kind of games, man. Those Soulsborne style games.
Soulsborne?
Yeah, it's like a Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like that.
I want to give them a try. I've been watching
so fun.
a Bloodborne speedrunner recently.
Oh, yeah. Bloodborne's
Very
nuts,
interesting.
Man. Bloodborne
Very
is
interesting.
nuts. It's super, super fun. So that for like my nostalgia really, really got me. And then that Resident Evil 8 trailer, man. That Resident Evil 8 trailer looks so horrifying. Dude, I've been playing like on stream. I've been playing some like mildly creepy games. And like even that I can barely handle. Like I'm freaking out. Like anything makes like a weird creaking noise. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like I can't handle it. And I know that this is going to scare the living hell out of me, but I absolutely can't wait for it. I cannot wait. It looks so sick. They did such a good job with Resident Evil 7, like bringing it to first person for the first time in the series history, and just like how creepy that game was, and how like, have you played it? No.
I've played like the older
like
ones.
the older ones,
Yeah.
and 7 is nuts. It's just like first person, and you're in a house with this super creepy family. It's like being in a house with 1,000 corpses. If you've ever seen that movie, man, it's so nuts. The game is fantastic. Anyway, RE8 looks insane, and then like I said earlier, that Horizon 2 Forbidden West trailer, bro, it looks so good. It looks so good.
Yeah,
I just can't wait,
unreal.
man. I'm getting very. I was getting very, very excited for next gen now. Like the hype is very, very, very much building. And then like we have to talk about Bug Snacks.
Bug Snacks. I thought I was going through a fever dream. Like I was like, there's no way this is real. And then it was like from the makers of Octodad. I was like, oh, it's a meme game.
So like
The themes, everything.
What is Bug Snacks to you? Like what is Bug Snacks?
It's as literal to me. It's as literal as what they told you. It said in the trailer. It's like we're bugs and they're snacks. It's
Like-
Bug Snacks.
Like it's like
That's it.
a spider is a slice of pizza.
Yeah, and he's eating a bug snack, and then they themselves turn into a bug snack. I don't get it, but I'm in love
Like
with it.
I wonder if it's going to be a game where it's like you are what you eat. You know what I mean? So like if
that's absolutely what it is. He
Right.
ate the thing, and his thing turned into the thing.
so like if you eat a caterpillar that's an ice cream cone, then like part of your body becomes an ice cream cone. Then you eat a moth that's a falafel. Your head turns into a
a
falafel.
falafel.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I wonder. It looks insane. I was hysterically laughing at
Yeah.
the theme song.
Yeah, the theme song is fucking money.
It was so
Everything
funny.
about that, just like as silly and as dumb as it is, like there needs to be games like this.
There does. Yes,
It's-
there does.
There does. It's just so good.
Yeah. It was.
Like I want to play Bugsnax.
I feel like Bugsnax is gonna be a sleeper hit.
It's gonna be a meme game, like Octodad,
yes,
like
yeah.
go back in time to like QWOP. It just needs just as long as it has some really stupid mechanic that's hard, it's gonna be perfect.
Because that's what Octodad had, right?
Yeah.
Like you had to control. I've never played it, but is that the premise? You had to control like a whole bunch of limbs.
Yeah,
at once?
I mean, as far as like difficult games, like Octodad is like 10 out of 10 difficulty.
Really? Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how it is, but you have to like select and control each tentacle like individually.
Okay,
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's amazing. Yeah, I hope it does turn out to be just like this hilarious meme game that's like it just gets clipped to death. You know what I mean? And it's just like you can just do stupid shit.
I hope so.
I want a falafel head now. I just want a falafel now.
I want to play Bugsnax.
I just want to play Bugsnax.
I'm buying a PS5 for Bugsnax.
And then I think we have like my sleeper hit, without a doubt, was Little Devil Inside.
Little Devil Inside, I really like the look of. That looked like it just looks so unique.
So the premise of that game, if I'm right, is there's an old man that lives in a village or whatever, and then you play the little devil
Like
inside his body.
Yeah.
And then it's an action adventure game inside this old man's body.
I mean, that's what the trailer looks like.
Yeah.
That's how it's cut with the
With the him dropping the turd.
with him dropping the turd. I remember the action that happened, like the quote unquote little devil did, but like did like
I think
a ground
he pushed a boulder or something.
pushed a boulder down a pit, and then
Yeah.
it pans out to the old guy, and it's just like that plunk into the toilet sound. Like, I'm very intrigued by that game.
Me too. And then like the cool thing about it was that the actual gameplay and like the fighting looked really good. Like a game that's like super cartoony and super jokey like that, you wouldn't think would have actual in-depth and fun gameplay. But it looked like it had like shooting, running, jumping, climbing. The combat looked like there was grabs, and there was like a whole, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole combat system built in there that you wouldn't expect from a game that's about you being inside of an old man's body, and when you push a boulder down into a pit, it's actually him taking a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if it even is that.
yeah, and it might not be. You might.
I'm super intrigued by that. Like, what is it?
I know. I want to know more. I really, really do want to know more. I can't wait.
Is it literally what the trailer is?
I hope so.
Because that'd be cool concept.
And it makes sense for the name of the game as well, right?
Yeah.
Like that just kind of all plays into the idea of that's what it is. But I hope so. I hope so. I mean, and then like other games of note was like it's really cool that there's a Sackboy game, like Little Big Planet, but it's not being made by the same people, which is strange.
I mean, from what they showed, like the world looks awesome.
Great.
The
Yeah.
enemies looked super fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, Sackboy is an iconic PlayStation character, so it's cool that we're gonna get another adventure or 3D platform thing in that world. Because I mean, all the Little Big Planet games were really, really fun.
Yeah,
right. They're great couch co-ops or play with a friend kind of thing, and they're just like joyful and cute. You know?
Yeah.
We need joyful and cute. And then I know, like I was talking about it in my chat right after the event, that most people that came to my chat were most excited about Spider-Man. Because I think for like younger people, that Miles Morales is has become the favorite Spider-Man, right? Like outside of Peter Parker, like aside from Peter Parker, no, other than Peter Parker. Like Miles Morales just seems to, I guess maybe he resonates with like current younger kids or younger people right now, which is sick. And that trailer looked amazing, and that Spider-Man game for PS4 is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Like the most well-realized superhero game probably ever. Like,
oh, hands down.
Like just really, really, really good. And so from what I understand, it's not a new game. It is an expansion. to the PS4 game. So I'm guessing for PS5 there will be the up-resed version on the PS5 that just runs really, really well. Load times are faster, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's the expansion, which is probably more built for PS5. So you'll add, it'll have next gen things in there that just kind of make it feel newer, right? But people were really, really excited about that, which is sick. So I'm very, very stoked for that. There was a lot of games that they did that were huge standouts. Some that were a little Returnal, you know what I mean? That weren't super sick. But yeah, I mean, I think as far as that event goes, I think they just absolutely knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, very well done event.
For sure.
Microsoft, take notes.
Dude. But you know what? I really do hope Microsoft is taking notes because they have their event in July, right?
This July event for Microsoft has to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, because the benchmark has been raised, right?
Like they royally dumped on the first one, and then PlayStation just dumped on them a second time. Yep. They have 2 layers of dump to crawl out of.
Yeah, they need to. Like, I think Microsoft has to set the standard above what PlayStation just did. So I don't know how. I don't know if they have the first party titles to do it. Well,
the ace up their sleeve is Halo.
Halo is absolutely. You're right. Like Halo,
like the first Halo ever with the brand new engine with the biggest budget out of gaming history.
Yeah.
Like if they don't knock it out of the park with this Halo, then like rip Xbox.
Xbox might be in trouble with this Halo. Yeah, you're right. Because like you're going to see like a Forza, right? You're going to see probably some kind of a Tomb Raider something, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of like other smaller Xbox titles kind of things that you can see coming, but Halo is by far the big. Like Halo is bigger than everything that PlayStation showed.
Yeah, like, I mean, Halo
could be bigger.
Halo is Xbox.
Yes,
Xbox
absolutely.
is Halo.
Yes, 100%. So that's kind of where it kind of all lies on that. Like, as long as they get the production right,
yeah,
which I hope they learned from their last one, that they get it, they nail that, and then it's not a concern. Then you can you could show 10, cool, whatever games, and then if the Halo thing is like. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine what Twitter is going to be like if Halo is as good as we're hoping it's going to be.
It's going to be unreal. And, like, I really do think Microsoft is going to announce some more, like, some titles that are single-player, good story-driven titles. Because that's where they're lacking. And that's why they, like, bombed last gen.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this gen is last gen now because we're in next gen now.
Yeah. No. Fair enough. Yeah.
And they lost last gen because they legit had no fun first player games.
They didn't have first party titles that people would want to buy an Xbox or play on Xbox that are up to the Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us.
Yeah.
Horizon level.
And they royally fucked up out of the gate with forcing online, like always online, always connect, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's actually not that, and we're gonna stop doing that now. Come on,
dude.
But the dude that ran Xbox at that time is gone. It's Phil Spencer now, who I have a lot of faith in. He's the only reason why the Xbox is relevant nowadays, in my opinion.
Right.
And he's the guy in charge of the next one. And,
I hope, man. I hope. I can't wait for the day we come in to do this podcast after the Halo thing. Especially if it's good. Like, you're just going to be like a giddy kid at Christmas.
Oh, dude, you're not going to shut me up. That's going to be my podcast.
I'm not even showing up. I'm not even going to come here. I'll just let you take the whole thing.
I'm going to have, like, 19 pages of notes after that event.
I know, just deep analysis. deep analysis.
Please don't just be a teaser. Please.
I don't think they can.
They can.
Because it's supposed to come out this year, right? Like, I don't think they can show just like some CGI teaser. I think they have to show gameplay.
It has to be.
Like,
They have to.
gameplay.
They need to follow in Sony's steps here and do first-party developer gameplay,
Yeah. Yeah.
not third-party developer quote-unquote gameplay. That's just 4 seconds of nothing.
Yeah. No, I really think they do. And I hope so. I hope they blow PlayStation out of the water. And the only reason I hope that is because I like seeing competition outdo each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sets the bar higher and makes these people make better shit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the
that
console
just
wars
benefits
have
consumer.
swapped every year,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing.
100%. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like without that, then like if Sony wins this year again, and then Microsoft Xbox dies, that's no incentive for PlayStation to be better next year
True,
or next
absolutely.
gen.
Absolutely.
The next gen, I should say.
Next gen.
So like pray if you're a PlayStation fanboy, pray that Xbox does really well. Otherwise, PlayStation will not get better in the future.
Right. There's no incentive.
There's no
They
incentive. There's
already
no
won.
competition.
Yeah. And
That's why that's why I want PlayStation to be as good as it is, even though I play Xbox. Like it's got to be good all around.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're all playing games. We all love games. Doesn't matter what you play on. Like play the games you like. Just I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
You just mean that each console being successful means that each console will also strive to be better.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. That's the whole point of competition, right? And we want, as consumers, want to benefit, and that's how we can benefit as consumers, is just by each console succeeding.
Yeah.
Right? So that's great. And like it looks like on a raw power standpoint, the Xbox, like spec-wise, is stronger, right?
Spec-wise, yeah. I mean, it really is negligible at this point.
You think? Yeah.
Like it's not. Like it is more powerful.
Like, is there a difference between 12 teraflops and 10.28 teraflops?
Of course, there's a difference,
But,
but
like
it's gonna look good regardless
Yeah,
of what system you're on.
that's what I mean. Like to the eye, like are the differences so minute that it's whatever?
And at the end of the day, it's up to the developers to like take full advantage of that.
Just to
anyways.
unlock the potential, right? Yeah.
So I don't know.
will
Both
be cool.
consoles are more than powerful enough to drive beautiful games.
Yeah, and this will be the last 2020 and 2021 will be the last year of games on like the current Unreal Engine as well, because we can't forget that tech demo that came out, right? Like so after maybe even towards the end of 2021, you'll start seeing games that have been made off of that Unreal 5, right?
It'll be interesting because they're going into they're giving there's I think they said January. They're gonna start letting some studios like use it.
Okay.
Now the question is, can studios port existing projects from like current
And I
Unreal
wish I
Engine
knew how that worked.
into that?
Like if you have a project that's 30% complete, can you take
that put it
and
into the
just-
new engine, and then
it's
and
like
then
getting a new iPhone.
And
It's
then,
just
then-
like
no, you'd have to like do the some work, obviously, but or it just might not be compatible at all, and you're like, no, you're starting from the ground up.
yeah.
So like if there is a way to like port it over and like there'd still be a lot of work, but it'd be a lot less work than starting from the ground up.
Yeah.
Then maybe we'll see games at the end of the year, at least demos.
Right. Yeah.
But it takes like 3 to 4 years to make a game.
To make special AAAs, yeah, for sure. It'd be interesting. It will be interesting. But that is like one weird crossroad of where we're going into a next gen, but with the engine, the main engine, if we're talking Unreal, you're getting into the end of the cycle for that version of that engine
Right.
anyway. But but like you said too, like this Halo engine is built from the ground up, and that's brand new. So that's a next gen engine as well. So like I don't know. I guess the engine thing is just constant. It's just a revolving door, right?
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like the Slipspace engine is like it's built. To my knowledge, it is the only like engine dedicated to like next gen. Like
Okay.
it was built for Halo Infinite.
Right, which was going to be a next gen game, which
Yeah.
since the beginning.
I don't know if that means anything
Yeah, I
or
have no
like
idea. Well,
because
that's the thing,
Halo
we can see it,
Infinite
right?
is gonna play on current gen anyways.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
But like, there's definitely going to be that underlined like optimization for next gen, and you can just turn that down for the current gen.
Well, and that's really what they do, isn't it? It's like playing on PC. It's just like the next gen will be on ultra graphics, whereas the current gen one will be on medium graphics.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just take away some of the anti-aliasing and the depth of field. You know what I mean? You take away a few things here and there, and now it's previous gen. But you need next gen stuff to run it on the ultra settings, which is, it has all the ray tracing and all that good stuff. Back to the Sony thing. What did you think about the console?
I think the design choice is kind of weird.
A little suspect?
Like, it's out there. It looks like, I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't look cool. Mm-hmm. It looks cool. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't like the futuristic thing for designs. I kind of thought were in the past. It sounds weird. The future designs are in the past. I was expecting something a lot more
just like sleek and modern, just like something
sleek and modern, not a wireless router that you hide in the closet because you're embarrassed to have it out in the open.
It's very like the
pop collar
at the top is very strange. If it was just straight up, if it didn't have the bowing out at the sides at the top,
and the bulge on the side for the disc tray.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, I think Sony kind of lost sight that like a lot of adults are going to be buying consoles this generation. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And as boring as it is, I'm a fucking boring adult that cares about the aesthetics in my media center.
Yeah, like, you don't want to have your media center be like all aesthetically pleasing, and then like the new girl that you just met off Tinder comes over and she's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
And it's it's like giving off an aura. You can't make the room dark because the blue light kind of leaves this ominous lighting in your apartment. Like,
yeah, like it's definitely out there. It's going to turn heads, but I don't think that's kind of the goal for a console design. Mm-hmm. It's not a centerpiece, in my opinion.
Okay, right, yes. That's a great way to put it. Like, you want it to be something that sits there, but people don't come in and be like,
"Whoa,
the hell is that?
What the hell is that?"
Which, so do you think the Xbox has done well with that?
I think the console designs for both consoles are lacking.
A little lacking, yeah.
Like, Microsoft went too simple and Sony went too extreme. Like, if they could just meet in the middle, like the perfect console design is like in the middle there.
Yeah.
Like the Xbox Series X suffers the same thing. Where, like, even looking now, like, I don't know how to fit that in.
Where it would fit. Like, it would almost look like a little air purifier on your desk, wouldn't it?
Like, they're both strange designs. Personally, like, non-biased, I'll still go with the design of the Series X.
Yeah.
Just because the hard edges, I like squared edges and designs.
Right, yeah.
I'm not a fan of like curved things. That's a personal preference.
Yeah, so. The top, again, I think the PlayStation looks great other than where it starts to bow out. And then where it starts to bow out, it starts to look like the spoiler on a sports car, or like you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like it starts to get strange, or like you said, like super futuristic, where it's like the exhaust on a spaceship or something.
And that kind of
really need that.
And I mean, if we're talking about like vision of both companies, like Sony's vision really does seem to be thinking of the future. Mm-hmm. But it's very revolved around like Sony and the future is like what their vision is, and like that's embodied in that console design.
Right.
It's like, look at this.
Yeah.
You know, we're right here. Look at this. It's futuristic. It's cool. But like, I don't know. If you talk about like Microsoft vision is very clearly on the gamer.
I hope so, man.
Experience.
I think whatever console decides to focus on games first over it's your all-in-one media center. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Like, or it's ultra futuristic because we can do this, and this. Like, if you just focus on your first-party games being as good as they possibly can, innovate, you know what I mean? These kind of things. I think that's the console that's probably going to win the next generation, but it's tough to say. The time will tell.
Time will tell.
Yeah. Speaking of time, I can't wait for some time to pass so we can get some new good games to play. Because boy, oh boy, let me tell you. I was looking at the Twitch categories. So, like, if you guys have been listening, you guys know I've been kind of not really knowing what to play. Been playing some older games like Far Cry, and like I just played through Little Nightmares last week, which is an older game as well. And just like looking for something, wanting something to really, really get into, and there's just nothing. And then I see from people I follow on Twitter and these kind of things that a lot of streamers are echoing the same concerns. You know what I mean? Just like Dr. Disrespect had a tweet about just saying that there's like he was very disappointed with season 4 of Warzone, which I'm seeing a lot of people are disappointed with season 4 of Warzone. And he's just like, there's nothing. There's nothing that's I'm not excited to play anything. And it seems like it's been like that way a while. So I took a look at the category list just while I was thinking about it. And at the top of the categories on Twitch, even still, Counter-Strike, Fortnite, Rainbow Six, League of Legends, Minecraft, GTA 5, Apex. It's like none of these things are new.
No.
It's like what's like the newest thing out of those games is probably Apex, I guess. And that's 2018.
Yeah, we're a couple years.
Early
We gotta
2019 kind of thing. Either way, it's well over a year old.
Yeah.
And it's like there's just like Escape from Tarkov is there, but I know if anyone pays attention to Twitch that Escape from Tarkov just had a wipe and a new patch, so that brought a lot of people back. But then historically, every season or every patch with Escape from Tarkov, there's hype initially, and then once people start to get all the good shit, then it just dies off, and then it sits somewhere in the mid tier of Twitch games. Like Warzone is there, but like I said just a minute ago, the overall sentiment seems to be that people are super disappointed with this season. And then Valorant is there, but I think like I would call it now that I think Valorant's going to be a bust. Like it's
looking like that.
I don't see anyone talking about it. Like one of my buddies plays it a lot and really enjoys it, but no one in my friend group cares an iota about it. Even the people that I was like when it came out initially in the beta, like so it's teams of five. Yeah, teams of 5. Of the group of 5 that I used to play with, one person still playing it.
Yeah,
and it's just like I think like it is, well, as of right now of recording this podcast, it's number 7 on the list. But for a game that just got released, that's from Riot, it should be gigantic. And I don't think it's going to be a success. I think what Valorant did, the best thing Valorant did, is probably going to make just Counter-Strike better. I think that's because there's going to be some things in Valorant that are good ideas that the community in Counter-Strike will want, and it'll get brought into Counter-Strike, and people just be like, I'm just going to play Counter-Strike. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? So there's just nothing. There's nothing new and exciting, it seems, in the online gaming world. Like I know like Last of Us 2 comes out soon, which is great. Like that's like but that's a single player, play on your couch, 1 or 2 time playthrough narrative game.
Yeah, like what's the next big competitive game?
Like it has to be Halo. Like there's nothing on the horizon, nothing on the immediate horizon.
Yeah.
We could unless there's
with this Halo being cross-platform.
Yeah. Like unless there's like there might be an indie title that comes out that really blows people away. I mean that's always possible. That could come out at any time. But on the horizon, like we could go all summer without something new and great coming. And we've already been in a slump for months. Like Warzone did good, and it is fun. It's definitely fun. I think most people would say that it's fun, but they're not doing anything to really keep people sucked in.
I can't take that game too seriously.
Exactly.
Like I play with my buds, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But like I generally do not just want to sit there and grind.
You don't want to be the best Warzone player.
No.
Exactly. And I
want to like jump off a building and try to do like 360 no scopes.
Exactly.
And if I die, I fucking die.
And then who cares?
Yeah.
Jump back to
my
another
KDA
game.
in Warzone has gone down.
Who cares? Exactly. And then so Warzone is like relatively new, and then Valorant, and like we were just saying, like Valorant, I just don't see it. I don't see a way that Valorant becomes super successful. But maybe it goes through, or it has a lifespan like Rainbow Six Siege and starts off a little bit weak and then gets gigantic, maybe. But if we're doing this podcast in 3 years when that happens, then cool. You know what I mean? But man, it's a dire time, a real dire time, and I just the world, that competitive online gaming world is just ripe for the taking for any developer that decides to make something fantastic.
Fuck, this might be like perfect timing for Halo.
It
Goddamn.
really is. Really is. Because I mean, I've been saying it for years when it comes to PUBG, that if a developer came along and just made PUBG but did it better, that it would be the biggest game in the world, and it would take over Twitch. It would take all the big streamers. It would have a huge esports scene, all that kind of stuff. I truly believe that, but no one's done it. No one's really taken that initiative to just make a very, very well polished game. And maybe it's in the works, right? It's possible, but there's just such a drought of really good online multiplayer games, competitive multiplayer games, and I don't know what's going to come before Halo. And Halo's like what, November probably? Holiday 2020?
Holiday 2020. Yeah.
Man, it's dire. It's dire. Is there like what do you think? Do you think there's something that you think might come, or something I know you're excited for Halo, but like, or is there something
I don't know anything that's coming out. We have a lot of announcement things coming up, so I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, like, and again, like maybe at that Xbox event, there's something announced that's like available 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and it's like, hell yeah, like sick. But man, I hope someone does something, because it's like, it truly is insane that League of Legends is still number 3, like on Twitch right now as we're recording this podcast, and then Grand Theft Auto 5 is right behind it. God,
it's gonna be Grand Theft Auto 5 forever.
Maybe Grand Theft Auto 5 is just the last Grand Theft Auto, and we never knew it.
Yeah.
I hope someone does something either innovative or just really, really well polished and fun, and a developer that continuously adds new things and keeps things exciting. Which is like a shame to say, but Fortnite is probably the one that's done it best out of all those, as far as anything new, right? Like they do have, like, I know people are excited for the new season of Fortnite. I don't pay attention to it at all, so I don't know like what the hype is about it, but obviously it's still super, super popular, and that game is like, I think last week or the week before you were saying, like, it just runs really, really, really well.
It does. I mean, like Apex and Fortnite, they both do it very well.
Yeah.
Performance on both those games are, at least from my experience, are
brilliant.
Like brilliant.
And
like,
there's constant content.
Yeah.
Always new stuff happening. Constant patches.
Yep.
Reason to play, which is sick. Man, guys, I don't know. I would love to hear again. Maybe, like I said, maybe there are these indie titles, and maybe someone can let me know what's coming up that's really, really sick.
What do we play? Well, I mean, yeah.
Dude, well, here's how bad it's been. Here's how bad it's been for me, is that I've been flirting with the idea of buying the next WoW expansion. It's like, is it really going to get me again? Every expansion, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to. I don't want to play it.
Just be the next Asmongold.
Yeah, right? That dude, talk about someone grinding, man.
It's incredible. I've actually watched a bunch of his streams. Like, it really is nonstop WoW.
That's all he streams. Just
That's
WoW
crazy.
for like 10 years.
I mean, when you're making
been
bank streaming WoW, why the fuck not?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's killing it, absolutely. It's wild. I've actually opened the Blizzard. So when I uninstalled Warzone, because it's like 220 gigs on my computer, and I was like, man, I need to make some room for some other shit. And I was like, I don't play Warzone enough to justify it taking up the better part of my hard drive. It's just like it's
God,
crazy.
it's incredible how big that game is.
Do you think that's going to be a thing that's going to keep happening? Like, do you think as we go forward, games are going to be just like regularly 150 gigs?
Yeah, like the more details added to a game,
Fair
the
enough.
bigger it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's just...
Like, I think Red Dead Redemption is also like 130 or 140 gigs or something like that.
Jesus Christ. But it's the same reason why like Super Mario is like 30 megabytes. Like, and that was a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the right number, but like...
No, I know what you mean. I guess like all the data in Super Mario 64 could probably fit into like one building,
like
in Red Dead 2.
a gun skin.
But realistically, man, it must be so weird. It must be so weird if you're a developer, and maybe that's half the reason why it's taken so long for something new to come around, because the developers that are working for a lot of these teams are developers that have been developing games for a long time. And it's like, man, when it was Splinter Cell PlayStation 1 or whatever, or the Xbox 360 or Xbox, I think, yeah, like Xbox, regular Xbox, it was so simple to design these games. Now it's like you need these gigantic, super hyper detailed open worlds, or even your multiplayer games are supposed to have these huge maps, and like, God, it's just so, I guess the teams are so gigantic. It must be so weird though to be a developer who's like, if you were like an old guard developer, like someone who worked on the first Doom.
I would like hate to like be one of like work on that and then like come into like a modern environment, because I feel like a lot of developers just don't care about like restrictions anymore. Like back then when you were developing like the N64, is like you had a very defined limit and you had to be very creative and smart on how to fit.
Right.
So it was a lot of really smart programming and thought put behind like, how do we fit the entirety of Super Mario 64
On this cartridge.
on this media, like this absolutely tiny storage space.
Right.
And it's like, and the techniques and things, and like to figure it out and like do that is like incredible amount of thinking. Now it's like everybody has terabytes of storage.
So it's all
anyways.
digital, so there's no limit.
So it's like, who gives a shit? It's like everybody has 2 terabytes in their computer, probably.
Right.
Who cares if we're pushing 100 gigs or we're pushing 200 gigs?
Right. I never really thought about that. That's really interesting. So do you think that's a lot of the reason for, like, would that be a reason for games taking, I don't know if games take longer to make, but why some games can, like why something like Elder Scrolls 6 hasn't even been shown yet at all? Because it's like, man, we have no limit for how big we can go. Like we can just take this to the moon. Like, let's take as long as we want. This can be as big as we want, as ambitious as we want, because there's no cap on space. Let's just go.
Honestly, I have no idea. Oh, the cat just ran into the camera and moved it.
Hello.
Okay,
Relatively close.
that was funny. The cat just like for the audio listeners who's not going to see that, the cat just absolutely freaked out and ran into the camera. So we just had to reposition. We're good now. I mean, kind of on that note, we're kind of hitting the hour mark now.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. No, absolutely. I am very curious. I think I would love to speak with it, man. I would love to know someone who actually is a developer and talk about
any
that kind of stuff.
developers out there?
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, let's get a developer as a guest. That would be really
How
cool.
interesting would that be, to have a developer to just talk about what it's like? Like, how do you I don't know anything about it. Nothing.
I have very limited knowledge in game development.
Yeah, it would be such an interesting conversation for like 2 dummies to talk about someone that's like an expert.
Yeah. Be like,
Let's try
why is your game so bad?
Right? Yeah.
Please explain.
Go. Yeah, dudes, that is going to be the episode for today. We're going to be doing an interview next week with a friend of mine who I think everyone would say floated in or reached that mid-tier Twitch streamer level.
So what viewership are you talking about?
I don't want to quote averages. We'll let him do that.
Okay.
But he was I think the average. I was watching Harris Heller, and he was having a conversation talking about someone who had an average of 15 viewers, and the person he was talking with, they were both in agreement that that's well above average for Twitch.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Right. So but he was like, I remember watching this guy's stream who we're going to speak with next week, up in like the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Okay.
So
cool.
Fair, you're in the 40s, 50s, like you're on your way. Like you're doing something really, really well. So he was in that mid tier of Twitch streamer, and then gave it all up for family, for work, for real life stuff. And it's going to be a very, very interesting conversation. So we hope you guys do tune in for that. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. This is definitely mostly focused on that PlayStation event. I mean, it was a very major thing that's going to have a lot of importance going forward for that next gen of consoles, right? So hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys want to leave a comment down below about what your favorite game was, what you're most excited about, we'd love to hear. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if it's not Little Devil Inside, then I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Wait, I have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
Super Mario 64 news happened literally today, before the podcast.
It did.
D Whatever hit the world's first 46 and 70 star. It was like
46 minutes.
46 minutes, 59 seconds, and 31 milliseconds. So by 70 milliseconds or something
stars.
For 70 stars.
That's amazing. And how far is that below previous? Do you know?
Well, he had the world record before that. It was
at 47?
47:02.
Okay, so
he missed it by 2 seconds.
Wow.
But he's been on like the 46 grind for a while, and I just remember, I don't know if it was this run or the run before, but someone in chat was like, "Do whatever, get a 46," and it's really early in the run. And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm just gonna go to 46 right now."
And then you did,
and then got the 46.
That's amazing. Well, congrats to D Whatever. That's amazing.
Big shout out. That was cool. I'm glad I actually got to caught that live. First world record I actually got to catch actual something cool I actually got to catch live.
So sick. I love it.
So
awesome.
Sweet. On
Fantastic.
that note, all right.
All right, dudes.
All right.
Peace out. Bye-bye. See you next week.